Hello, welcome to An Imperfectly Perfect Life, Life Unscripted. I'm Sherry Lead, your host, and a lot of big changes going on over here. As many of you know, I started this podcast. The impetus was my divorce because I thought, okay, if I'm going to go through this in real time, I'm going to share this because somebody else needs to hear this. And if I try to share what I'm learning through my divorce process later, it's not going to have the same effect because it won't feel the same to me. So that was the start of it. And that was in, I believe, December 2023. It took me a while to get through the legalities of a divorce. And so that was the first season. The second season started again this year. And quite honestly, I think this one's going to be actually more raw than actually going through the divorce because this is my pivot year. And I didn't realize this. The first part, and everyone goes through their grieving process differently. And I say grieving because whether or not you want the guy to go or the girl to go, the fact is your life's changed. And there's a grieving process through that life change. And it's different for everyone. They say there's, acceptance, anger, and you can stay in these different phases for different times, but it's different for everyone. But I think there's some universal truths. And one of the things I learned is sometimes it wasn't easy, but sometimes going through actually the divorce process, you're on such a reaction mode, a survival mode, that kind of distracts you from what is really going on. And gosh, I've had a really hard time. I've had a really hard time the last couple of months. As you know, as I went through my divorce, if you've listened to the other podcasts, I took my friend's advice and I was just doing first dates as my divorce went on so I could figure out if I'm dateable, how to date, and who's out there. And I ended up in this relationship, which was technically maybe a year, but probably serious, I don't know, 7 months maybe. I haven't actually calculated it. And so the breakup of that, which was well, maybe just a month ago, feels like a couple months, maybe a month ago, um, it felt devastating. But I don't think it was so much, it wasn't as devastating because of the relationship. And I mean, there's a piece of that, but it also was like the last straw, which allowed me to like everything, all the stuff that I'd been going through, selling the house, actually going through a divorce after 27 years of marriage. During this whole process, I had to take care of the dogs, the kids, everything just kind of landed on me. And so it's been a hard month. That being said, it's also been one of my best growing months ever. And I read a quote today that said um, something to the effect of, you need to walk alone for a while to know what you yourself can carry. And I really believe that is true. So the next episodes, this is my pivot year, and I am, in my mind, priced out of the area I lived in, the Seattle area where I grew up in, where I have an incredible community of friends. I don't have families per se because my parents are gone and I'm an only child. My kids are my family. So a lot lands on me. I can go anywhere and it makes me excited, but it's also the scariest, bravest thing I'm ever going to frickin' do. I'm down to two cities to choose from because, like I said, I'm priced out of Seattle for what I want. I ended up with the two big Labrador dogs, so that's a factor. It limits what I can do. Um, Also, I want to have a landing place for my kids, and they're young adults right now. My son said, he actually said, if it helps, I don't need a room at your new house. I can sleep on the couch. And I said, no, for me as a mom, I need you both to always have a landing place. And I probably will feel this way when you're in your 40s. This is just something I need to do as a mom, but that limits me, right? It limits where I can go. And I'm down to two cities. So this whole next year, I'm not going to hold back. I'm not going to be extra nice to make people feel good. I'm just going to tell it as it is. I'm coming into my own skin right now. really pushing into the professional speaking, have an amazing keynote speech. So you guys should hire me. It's about flipping the box. It started out with my travels across America. The concept being that as an orphan, I was found in a cardboard box in a parking lot with no identifying information, and I symbolically flipped that over and made it a table for connection as I shared meals with strangers across the US. Well, this concept of flipping the box is expanded. It's not simply having a meal with somebody, but it's flipping the box for yourself, your career or business, and your community. And it's not about thinking outside the box, it's about flipping it entirely. And you're going to see me do this in real time. So I am leaving the state that I grew up in, where I have such a big community of friends. I started my new career, right? And really pushing in. It's the first time in my life that I'm going to seriously make my own place in the world financially, um, reputation wise, career wise. And it's exciting and scary, right? It lands on me dealing with things I never had to deal with, self-pay for my own medical insurance and um everything else actually, because I got married when I was 27. I dated the guy since I was 25. And so really this is the first time in my life that I'm adulting on my own. And I'm going to share that with you. Going to go to a new community where I don't have roots. I'm going to share with you how I find and make community, create community, um, and the highs and lows of it all. So here we go. Oh, and okay, here's another thing. One, you should buy my book, Table for 51, if you have not. And if you have, you should review on Amazon because I'm not paying for ads, and that's the only way it gets to some level on Amazon. But the other thing, I just finished creating this online course. It's going to be in three parts. I created part one, which is flip the box for yourself. The next two will be flip the box for your business or career and flip the box for your community. But this flip the box for yourself, I put a lot into it. I mean, not necessarily visually, creatively, but with thought of what the course contains. And I 100% believe if you take this course, you will end up with a richer community of friends and make new friends. If you follow this to the T, it's 12 weeks long. And the great thing about this is it's only $197. But the other great thing is I'm going to host weekly open office hours. It's going to be on Sundays at 5 to 5:30 Pacific Standard Time, 8 to see, I had to do the math, 8 to 8:30 Eastern Time every Sunday. You can log in and be in this Zoom call if you want, or you don't have to. But that's the extra, it's like a 30-minute kind of motivational self-coaching, or not self-coaching, me coaching, ask any questions you want, help you create community if you're struggling in some particular module of this course. And the better news is if you put in the code podcast, I'm taking $100 off. So it will only be $97 for 12 weeks for a course that can absolutely change your life if you follow it to a T. And you can log on, we can meet, at least virtually, uh, every Sunday, unless I'm traveling, from 5 to 5:30 Pacific Standard Time, 8 to 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, or Eastern Standard Time. And we'll create community together. All right. So good to talk to you. Again, unscripted. See you in the weeks to follow. Bye.